Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of hell. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at ubnradio.com.
Shut up, just shut up, shut up.
Now are we on? Applause, please. Man, I am such a diva. It's ridiculous. Absolutely absurd. How are you? Hi, Craig. Kurt. Thank you. Now I can speak. Oh, my goodness. They went away again. Anyway, thanks. Welcome to Shut Up. This is Deborah Kobylt. We've got Linda Hoffman. We have such a fun show today, right?
So excited. I've been waiting all week for this.
We have, and I need one of our guests. So actually, I need both of them, right? We have one on the phone, and our other guest is...
it's a
surprise.
It's
leave
a
it as a
surprise.
surprise. I mean,
and everyone's going to be excited about that.
Well, I am, because I need her help today myself. So this is great. But this guy, who is he? We've got
Rob Moore.
Rob Moore of what? California Native Plants. He's on the phone.
Hi, Rob.
Hi,
are you there?
How are you doing?
How you doing? Oh, he's a
Excellent.
cute
I'm doing
guy. Is
excellent.
that his
Thank
picture
you.
up there? He's adorable. How are you?
Gladly get you everywhere. Huh?
Yeah.
So you must be busy these days redoing people's yards. We're talking about the drought. We're talking about... I went through this last week with 2 trees in my backyard that I finally had to cut down. It was emotional.
The other week we did a show on the drought and watering your plants and watering your lawn. My lawn looks awful. I live in an area where my lawn should look really nice, and it looks horrendous. It's spotty. It's brown. And in fact, my gardener came over just yesterday, and he said, Deborah, let's do turf. I just can't wrap my hands around turf. So I'm thinking of doing drought-resistant stuff, but I don't want to fall in it and like stick myself and prick myself or anything like that either. So there's got to be
Cactus
something.
and gravel, right?
What's that? Craig, I can't hear myself. Could you make it a little louder? Thanks. We've got, one of our guests here wants it lower. I need it louder. It's
we're all different.
We're all different in life, right?
Right. So, Rob, are you really busy these days redoing yards and getting drought-resistant plants? I mean, you must be. Everybody needs to get on it because plants are dying left and right, at least in my yard.
Yeah, it's gone nuts over probably about a year ago. As soon as those turf rebates started kicking in, where folks are getting money back from their water district for $2 to $3 a square foot, and as soon as they had that incentive, all bets were off.
Turf's come a long way. I don't think you realize that. Some of it looks very real.
It does.
It's kind of crunchy, though, when you walk
I know, it's
on
kind of crunchy, and depending upon the way the light hits it, it looks a little shiny, and I feel it's almost like wearing polyester pants or something. It just doesn't feel right for me not to have real grass. Don't most people say that to you?
It's like 1970s light.
Yeah, it's just I can't get my hands around it. Are you doing a lot of that along with the drought resistant stuff?
Actually, I don't, but it's funny you say that because the first job I did back when I got done with my design schooling was some AstroTurf. Well, AstroTurf, it's synthetic turf they call it now. But I did a small area for my parents down in Fallbrook. They had 2 Dobermans who were very active and liked to play. So we just did a nice drought-tolerant planting around that with that turf area, and it's actually held up really nice.
Well, because you probably mixed it, right? Like if it's almost like carpeting, it looks weird. So you're saying you couldn't mix real stuff in
my
it?
stepdad, he's real handy, so he actually installed it himself. But they got a higher grade. It's kind of like anything else. If you have a better grade, it's going to look better, the aesthetic, and it's going to hold up a little better. So it's really functional in certain instances. If you have dogs, the dogs like to play on it. If you have kids, the kids are playing on it hard. But just for aesthetic, for your front yard where you're just passing through anyway, then it doesn't make a lot of sense.
So how much is that stuff, a square foot? It's a lot of money, isn't it?
I think it starts like at a couple bucks a square foot, and it goes up to maybe 10. It goes up high. It can be really expensive.
I don't like the idea of a pet doing its business on it. And then what do you hose it off?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you have
don't
to
like
hose it
that.
off. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I don't like
Well,
it.
doesn't it start to smell like if they pee on it and stuff? Isn't it? I'm serious, doesn't it? Like, well, I'm not. Well, all dogs pee, right? So if they pee on the grass, what happens? It's like pee on the carpeting, right?
Over time.
Well, if you have soil, it's gonna permeate into the soil. If you have the turf, then yeah, you'd have to wash it off. So it's a little bit
of maintenance.
redundant.
So there's plants though. I've seen people take their yard and do the plants that you can walk on and do that.
You have plants you can walk
Yeah,
on?
what do you call those, Rob? That you walk on.
Yeah.
You know, they're good for that.
Is that a picture of him with plants that you can
Yeah,
walk
your low ground covers, and,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's actually that makes a lot more sense. There's a lot of evergreen ground covers. They're low; they don't grow more than 6 inches, so it looks from a distance like you have a lawn still.
Right.
And there's some that some species tolerate more foot traffic than others, some less so. But it just depends on how much traffic you're going to have on your front lawn. How many people have that much traffic? Basically, you're just walking in and out of your front door on your walkway to the car, and get in your car and go and come home, park in the driveway, walk in the front. Most of the time, you're just passing through. It's just aesthetic.
Right.
Yeah.
So people are
So in that
redoing.
instance, you can do any kind of design you wanted, whether it's a cottage garden, whether it's a Japanese style, whether it's just one monoculture of Diamondia or Carex progressilis, which is a native grass. You can have a nice looking meadow look. There's all kinds of different things to do. You're not
It's
limited.
overwhelming.
It is overwhelming, and then you have to keep
yeah.
it up. That's another thing. Do you do maintenance? Does your company do maintenance, or do you just do
Well, actually,
installation?
I only
and
do
stuff?
the design and consultation aspect of it,
Oh.
but there's basically, it's like the government. There's 3 branches in landscape. There's
Okay.
design, and there's installation, and then there's maintenance. Most
Right.
companies don't do all 3. Some of the big ones do, but if you want to get more specialized expertise, most people are hiring the different professional per the different phase that you're in with the development of the landscape.
Now, I was telling everyone last week that I had 2 trees that died. They're elm trees, which I guess are not rare.
Were
I mean,
they-
they are rare
Were
in
they
California.
watered too much? Is that what
I
happened?
don't know.
Are
I
they-
wonder what Rob thinks of
Are
it.
they
I know
elm or birch? I thought
they
you-
were.
I thought they were
No,
birch
they were
trees.
elm trees.
Oh, I have a birch that just died.
Yeah,
We
you
took that
have the
down.
birch problem.
I have a birch
You
that
took it down?
died. I had to take it
By
down.
the
It was
way,
dead.
I want to plug someone's service, Majestic Tree Company. Will, he's your guy in LA if you live here.
Really?
He's so
Okay.
knowledgeable, and they did such a great job taking my tree down. It was sad, but they made me feel better.
So what would kill an elm? Too
Yeah.
much watering?
He said it was a fungus. Something happened, they've been there 35, 40 years. So
Oh, that's terrible. It sounds like-
sometimes they just get old, right, Rob? They just get old.
Yep,
Maybe it
they-
doesn't have to do
they
with the
have a
drought.
life. Yeah, all those landscape plants plants you see driving around LA for the last 20, 30 years. Those things have been there forever.
Yeah.
And now they're kind of reaching the end of their practical lifespan. So now they're being pulled out and transitioned into a more regionally appropriate, hopefully, planting. You never know, but that's definitely the opportunity available right now.
So what's common? What are people doing? They're taking plants out that require too much water and installing what? Cactus? I mean, what are they putting in there?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
my
funny.
vision
That's-
of what's going on.
Yeah, that's the classic misnomers that I tell
Right.
people, California native plants, you do gravel and cactus. It's like, well, I've never planted cactus and I've never put down gravel. So, that's really not the way it is. There's a ton of plants. There's over 5,000 species of native plants in
Sagebrush.
California.
What's that? I like
And they're not all drought tolerant, obviously. Sierra Nevada, up in the rainforest up in Northern California, obviously, but they're not all desert plants like you see out in Mojave either. Great looking, you go up to Big Bear or you go up into the Santa Monica Mountains, you get into that chaparral. Those plants are green year round. They look great in your yard and just as good as any other landscape plant that's from God knows where else. And they work fine, a fraction of the water. And it's not zero maintenance, but it's much less maintenance, probably twice a year.
Well, it looks like you have done some beautiful yards.
Yeah, I wish you could
they
see
look
what we're
great.
looking at. That's sort of the English
like the
garden.
purple.
Yeah, that's sort of the English garden look, right? We've got the picture up of the picket
cottage,
fence.
yeah.
So that's called cottage. So what's up
Cottage
there?
garden.
The cottage garden. So what do you plant for the cottage garden? That would look good in my house. That
It
would look
would.
good in your house.
Yeah, it would.
Okay,
we have
so
traditional looking
Linda and
homes.
I want cottage garden. So what kind of plants would that be?
The great native plants for the cottage garden look are
Yeah.
salvia. They smell fantastic.
I like
there's
that.
There's regional natives that you can use. There's tons of cultivars that you can use. Manzanita, you guys familiar with manzanita, the ones with the red bark you can see up in the mountains? You ever notice
No,
those?
I'm sure I know them, but
The
I don't
names are
know
so
the names.
complicated,
The
yeah.
names are,
Yeah.
they're not
They
simple.
need to have simple
they look-
names
Yeah.
and plants.
Yeah, they look really cool, and you can use those. Ceanothus is fantastic. It's green year-round. It's got blue flowers in the wintertime.
What is that
they come
called
in
with the
all
blue
different
flowers?
sizes. Ceanothus, it's the common name is wild lilac.
Wild
Oh,
lilac.
I would like that. What attracts butterflies? I like when butterflies fly.
I do too, right?
Butterfly plants that would be drought
Yeah,
tolerant. Are there any?
The best ones for butterflies are the milkweed variety, and there's a few different local varieties, and then there's some Mexican varieties and some different plants you can get from different areas, but they're readily available, and they're really great, especially for the monarch that's endangered right now. The only problem with those is that aesthetically they get destroyed physically by the caterpillars, because they're not only the nectar source, but they're also the primary source for the cocoons. The youngsters eat them as well. So those, you can put a lot in your landscape and attract the butterflies in, but you want to kind of put them back behind the plants to look nicer in front of them. So you're looking kind of at a nice grouping with those plants behind.
So
and
it's
that
kinda
also
like-
kind of gets those butterflies, gives them their own space, and those critters their own space a little bit as well.
It's kind of like you're doing a good deed. You're bringing in the butterflies, but they sort of eat up all your plants anyway. And then I guess like the next year or next season, you have to replace those, right? But that's sort of a nice thing to do.
Not necessarily. I mean, that's part of the cycle of those plants and the
I see.
butterflies.
I
So
see.
they kind of naturally occur together. And then you can use our local buckwheats. Those are fantastic. They flower almost year round. They have a nice aesthetic. They're wild. You can put those in there. And then there's just all kinds of. The thing is with the native plants, especially. I mean, you can use non-natives if you want a little more aesthetic, a little more summer color, and you don't like the idea of plants going dormant during the summer times like they do in the Mediterranean environment that we live in. You can always add other regional plants that'll give you flowering, but all those plants attract all those quality critters, and those critters, not only is it cool to them in your yard, obviously, but they restore an ecological balance too. So
That's great.
it's got a habitat restoration aspect that it kind of goes unseen, but that's really cool because the landscape comes alive, literally.
That's interesting. I never thought of it like that. I see
On a-
butterflies in my yard. I love that.
I love them as well. On a percentage basis, how has your business exploded, would you say? You must be a
It's
busy
doubled.
guy. Yeah.
Doubled.
It's doubled since last year at this time, literally.
Well,
So if someone wants to redo their yard, and let's say they're watering now 3 times a week or twice a week, can you get it down to once a week or even less than that? Can you do something like that
Yeah,
with some of these
there's
plants?
you know what? There's no need once a garden is established to water it more than once a month in most cases,
Oh.
and that's between April and October.
that's something else right there.
And maybe twice
Once a
a month
month?
if you're inland or if you have really fast draining soil. But outside of that, once that garden is established, that's liberal with your water.
Wow.
Believe it or not, that's how far away we are.
Water's
we are
expensive,
From really
so
being
that
efficient.
So it probably from a cost ratio, it's better to do this, change the plants, water less. You'll save money in the end.
Well, I'm interested in the turf rebate. Like,
Hmm.
I think that they did away with it, but it's coming back, I think, in August. Is that correct? Because if that's the case, I actually want to do most of my yard. It's shady, it looks awful, and I need it. So, I mean, that's something I know I want to do. The rebates, I think, are really giving people a lot of incentive. Don't you think, Rob?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially in my situation where I'm just providing design and consultation services.
Right.
In lots of instances, folks' rebate covers the price of my services.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
So,
very informative.
Significant.
I like the money saving aspect. You can
yeah.
have in the long term.
The rebate,
Smart.
I mean, probably navigating the website for the rebate would be like a nightmare. But if you can get through it, I would think
Yeah.
it's worth it. Am I right about that? Probably.
It's just like anything else. There's bureaucratic red tape. And
They
hoops
do
you
it on
gotta jump
purpose.
through.
I know they do. If somebody
That's
like
purpose.
me, I would look at it and just walk the other way. and
Most
forget
people
the
do,
rebate.
and then they don't get the rebate.
I
So
know.
that they do it on purpose, I think.
Well, Rob, thanks for joining us. Now, if people want to get in touch with you, what do they do? What's your website? How do they find you?
It's the name of my company, which is California Native Landscape Design. So the
Okay.
web is CaliforniaNativeLandscapeDesign.com.
And we should
And
say
they can
where
just-
you're located. Orange County, California,
Yeah, I'm
right?
in Brea.
Brea, okay.
But I travel. I'll go like in a 50-mile radius. So
Okay,
I'll
great.
run up to the San Fernando Valley or out to the Inland Empire, down south Orange County, or up to like Beverly Hills, maybe as far as that.
Great.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
very interesting. Thanks so much,
Yeah,
Rob.
Rob, thanks for being on, and thanks for helping to save some of the water and helping with the drought. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies. Pleasure to be on the show.
Great.
That was great. You know, I
Yeah.
love plants. I probably am suited to work with plants.
I think that would be a good thing for you.
It's very
Calm you
calming.
down.
It
They
would-
don't talk back.
They don't talk back. Let's think about that. I'm actually
like
serious.
that.
I love
But they
to
do
garden.
die sometimes. That's the only
I have a
negative.
green thumb. I love to
Really?
garden. I used to grow a lot of vegetables. I used to grow corn in the backyard. I was like a regular farmer. And then my kids got older, and then we just stopped going to the garden center, and I stopped growing stuff. So
You go through phases in life.
You do. I'm going to get back at it. I mean, he was so relaxed, this
Yeah,
guy.
he was.
Brought me
So
down to like a real zen sort of level.
We're talking about the drought, but you know, you can have inner drought, right? With
Oh,
your
oh,
life.
yeah.
I'm going through it.
Yeah. Oh,
with
yeah. So
certain
who's our next
areas.
guest? This is
We
one of your
are
great
so
finds.
excited about
This is one of
this.
your great finds. So who is she?
Natasha Adamo. I said it right? Woohoo!
Oh my God, you are so adorable. Did you learn anything about the plants?
I did. I learned a lot of stuff I never thought I'd know about plants.
But we have to tell everyone who Natasha is. She
Go ahead.
has a blog. She's like the girl I want to be. I want to go back in time.
Well, I'm only a couple years older than her.
PMS.
Anyway, like, hey.
The name of Natasha's blog is PMS. It stands for Post-Male Syndrome.
just
correct?
like premenstrual, post.
I love it.
I love that. That's so clever. So tell me how. Okay, I read a post that Linda put on Facebook, and I loved it. And she said, "Oh my gosh, I just discovered her. She's great. We've got to have
I
her
feel
on
like
the
I
show."
found her myself.
No, well, sort of, right, in this case. And then she said, we've got to have her on the show. And then here you are. So I've been reading a lot of your stuff also. I think you're brilliant. And
Thank you.
You know, you have a lot of wisdom and a lot of experience, right? I mean,
Very much. I learned from you, and I know that I'm substantially older. I know it's hard to believe.
No.
well, I'm not. No, I'm just- So how did you get? No, you write a blog and you have articles, and
She's
where are
also
you?
a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've written. I wrote a screenplay that got sold a couple years ago, which was awesome. And
What was the name of
currently-
it, and where is it? Is it sort of sitting on a shelf, or they're waiting to make it, or how's that going?
It's been made.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
so tell me about it.
It's been made. It's in post production, and
Woo.
I don't know if it's going to go through the festivals or if it's going to go through
Oh,
Netflix, stuff like that. I'll definitely keep you guys posted.
absolutely.
Can you tell us the name of it?
It's called Girlfriends.
Can we go to the premiere?
Of course.
Heck
yeah.
Yeah. So what's Girlfriends about? And how did you get the idea for Girlfriends?
A breakup, a horrible breakup. And I got the idea from my own horrible breakup. And then
See, girls, everybody has one.
We've all been there, but I want to hear. Yes. So this affected you. How many years ago? Maybe in general, recently, or was it a long time ago?
that specific one was about my first heartbreak.
Okay.
That was
So you were young.
Yeah. It was bad.
But you pulled from that, then how you felt. So you decided. Tell us more. You decided from there you needed to get over it. How did you do it? The terrible breakup.
I cyber stalked. I
I love
You
your
cyber-stalked
honesty.
him?
oh yeah.
Okay, so like what happened?
do
Did he break up with
drive-bys?
you, or did what happened? And does he know all this?
He broke up with me and got married a few weeks later.
What?
Yeah. got
what a
married
real
few weeks
jerk.
later,
What
yeah,
a
it
real
was-
slime
it was
ball.
bad.
We need a boo thing instead of an applause.
Yeah, do we have a boo? So okay, he broke up with you. What a creep! And then he got married. Did you even know he was dating this girl, or?
No, I had no idea I was being cheated on or anything like that. But the relationship was super intense on my end.
Yeah.
It was like getting married, having a divorce, having a kid without the kid or the papers or the marriage. You know,
Oh,
it was
tough.
tough. It was
Yeah.
really tough. And then, years and years pass and I look back at what I've done and it was all relationship heartbreak based stuff I've written. So I thought, gosh, I'm going to start a blog and we'll see how it goes. And
Wow.
5
You have
months
such
ago I started.
You have a great following. I like to read the responses of your blog. A lot of these girls are in college, I noticed. They're younger. Not all. I mean, I'm just realizing that they're a lot younger than me. I keep bringing that up. Can you tell that's a source of a bad subject for me? But, you can be any age and have the same problem. I'm not saying my age, but I have the same problem now. So
Dating
it's
is
sad
dating.
it doesn't go away.
Well, it's
I
not
think
the
dating
what,
is
it's the
dating.
how that changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's get into that because, for women out there listening, let's say you're going through a bad breakup. What is the first thing you do? It's all about loving yourself, right? If we had to narrow
What
it
the
down.
hell does that mean anyway? Loving yourself. I hear that all the time. Like, what are you supposed to do? Give yourself a hug
Yeah.
every day, or they say, "Oh, go do something for yourself." Like, go give yourself a facial. That's ridiculous. So, how do you actually love yourself?
You know what? It is ridiculous. It's. I have looked through everything on how to try to love myself. I try to do yoga. I've gone to plastic surgery consultations. I've tried mantras. I've tried, the Post-its. I've tried everything, and I realized that self-love starts first with implementing boundaries.
I love that.
This I liked
Yeah.
because I'll tell you what, in my life, and I am married, I have trouble with boundaries. Not with him, but with everything else. So,
But you could have trouble with girlfriends with boundaries, anybody in
Coworkers.
your life. Coworkers.
okay,
Yeah.
I gotta ask you. So you're saying boundaries because I don't even have them. Boom, they're just down there. So people can just walk back and forth all over and ask for what they want or whatever. And
How do
then-
you set boundaries?
Yeah, how
What
do
do
you
you do?
set them?
You set boundaries by looking through your past anthology, your dating, your friendships, your history. Go back into your history, say, what is the pattern here? How have I consistently felt? Okay. And once you see that and what you've attracted and what you've gone for, you can start to say, okay, this isn't making me feel good. This is making me feel good. This is triggering something from, the past. This is triggering something in my younger self. And boundaries are like your personal electric fence, letting the world know what you will and won't put up with. And the problem with boundaries is so many people are so quick to talk about them. Listen to any rap song, listen to any, they're all about their boundaries and what they won't put up with, what will not fly. And people really like advertising that in a verbal way, but when it comes down to acting upon it, that's when it gets tricky because it's scary.
I was going to say, people are probably scared. Like if you're setting a boundary with a guy, right? They're probably thinking, uh-oh, he's not going to like me anymore and he's going to break up with me and then I won't have him anymore and he won't be my friend. Is that correct?
100%.
So then how do you get over that? I would just say be prepared to let the person go. But a lot of girls wouldn't do that.
Well, that's how that gets into the whole self-love thing. So if you can make a commitment to yourself to instill boundaries in spite of what your libido is saying, in spite of what your heart is saying.
Or what do you
Sort of mean the opposite. Do the opposite of what you think you've got going on inside about somebody, right? In a way. Like I can't live without him. Well, yes, you can.
Well, look, deep down your gut knows.
Yeah,
you know if you're more
exactly.
sad than you are happy. You know
Right.
if you're being, screwed over. You know that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if my heart's still in it because my heart is seeing through the filter of, needing validation or needing to please or, wanting someone to make me the exception to their rule. I'm not going to listen to that. I'm not going to listen to my libido. I'm going to listen
How do you not listen to your libido? What do you do? Just say knock it off?
super tough. I mean,
Knock it off.
that's a whole different show, but
No, but really, that's pretty powerful too.
You'll get to the point where when you reject bad behavior once, you're like, okay, I did it. I lived.
like this. And I like it.
lived.
You start to do it more.
And then you don't want to let yourself down. And then you turn yourself on from rejection of poor behavior. It's a turn on, and you turn other people on too.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Then you start doing it, and it becomes, this feels good. Like, not that you want to be mean to somebody, but
Exactly.
you realize this is not okay how I'm being treated, and you set those boundaries, and you're like, wait a minute, that was a nice feeling for once.
Right.
I don't have to put this person in my life. So that's I
Taking
think
the
that's-
first step,
that's
I
right.
would say, it's got to be the hardest for
It is.
people.
It is.
Isn't that right? Like, so
It's the
how did
toughest.
you do that? Because it sounds like you were kind of desperate, right? And by that, I mean, you were desperate with this guy. Did you do any drive-bys? You didn't?
I mean, I did some really crazy stuff with some exes. I mean, just
cyber stalk.
That's like such an understatement of
That's
what
like-
went
Oh
down.
no!
But,
Tell for the other poor girl who's out there feeling so desperate. What did you do?
Oh gosh, the worst. Let's see. You guys are familiar with my blog. There's a really good-looking guy that I take photos with. We've been friends
Oh, yeah,
for over a
he's
decade.
cute. I
He's
like
awesome.
him.
Oh my gosh, adorable.
He's great. So I got broken up with, and this is before, before social media had really taken over.
Right.
But I wanted to see what the new girl, I wanted to see her social media. Of course, everything was private. So I'm a woman. I know what women like. And I had poor Johnny. We spent a couple weeks taking photos of him and creating a life for him and getting him followers on his own account. And I followed her under his, name, but we came up with a fake name. And it escalated to the point where
That's clever.
Oh, it escalated to the point where my ex was getting cheated on, and she was cheating on him with me, but she didn't even know it because we were messaging back and forth. I mean, that's how nuts it's fun. Yeah.
Is that in the movie?
It should be. It really should be.
It's a good plot.
But yeah, no, crazy stuff has happened, but the thing you need to realize, and what got me to my aha moment, yes, I can reject this, I can do this, was realizing that who I was with was void. He had the emotional span of a stone. Oh. He was void of empathy. He was emotionally unavailable, narcissistic guy. And the only way you can hit a narcissist and get them to have one iota of an idea of what they put you through is by hitting them in the ego. And so I realized, what's the point of calling him and analyzing and trying to get him to see my side and stuff? If he was capable of acting with an ounce of empathy or integrity, I wouldn't be where I am. And if he was this great guy that I'm vying, for still, he would have found a way to exit my life without breaking my heart and making me feel less than. So I realized the only way to get someone that is in need of control and is very ego-driven kind of back would be to just speak through my actions, which is what he couldn't do, and cut him off.
What did you do?
Cut him off. Cut him off.
Yeah.
So
rip
then
the
what did
Band-Aid
he
off.
do? Come back to you when you cut him off?
He didn't do anything for a couple months.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah.
Because they can't believe that you would leave them and not to communicate, right?
Well, these
If they're
guys, a lot of the time, they'll move on real quickly.
Yeah,
They'll
but
move
that's
on.
not really what's in
Oh,
their
but that
heart.
must have killed you. I mean, come on.
It did.
You cut it off, and then you're thinking, like, you're just okay with it? You probably were flipping out.
Yeah, no, I was flipping out, but every day that went by, I was like, okay, I got through the day. And then
Yeah.
I didn't want to mess up all the days behind me. You know what I
Right,
mean? So,
It's like
It's like an
dieting.
addiction.
Yeah,
like in
it
a
is.
way.
It is.
It is an addiction.
oh, it totally
One day
is.
at a time. It's like AA. It should be, PMS AA.
Yeah,
But
no,
I
We
applaud
could start
you
a
because-
worldwide group of that.
Did you have a support base? Did you have a bunch of girlfriends that were sort of helping you through this as well, or?
no, because, and it ended up working out in a good way. I wanted him back so badly that I didn't want to taint and tarnish his name to my close friends. So I just
That was smart.
told my mother, and my mom kept me,
Centered
pretty much. And I'm so thankful for the relationship because it brought my mother and I closer on a level that,
Oh, that is nice.
we would have never been before.
That's nice. It's good to, and like, or you use a one girlfriend that you trust.
Exactly.
For that,
Yeah. You
if
keep your
need it.
circle small.
Exactly.
You don't want to come across as you have two options. You can be.
We just have some family members who
Never
walk behind
mind.
us, but that's
Hello.
okay. This is Richard and Gregory. Are they on, or are they on camera, or they're not?
They were when
They were just walking by. Thank you very much. But they're here
on
visiting
TV.
from Pennsylvania.
This is
so
John's brother. Oh my God, they look exactly alike.
don't they?
Yeah,
And this guy is Gregory. Sorry to interrupt, but I didn't realize they were just walking in behind us. And Gregory
Anything
is
goes here.
Gregory is a terrific comic. We'll get into that at the end of the show.
Oh, good. Okay.
You know what? Create a little bit. Maybe if we have a minute, we'll put you on. How's that?
Oh, let's put him on the spot.
Anyway, we're talking about relationships, Richard. So maybe we'll even put you on the spot. Okay.
We've got beautiful Natasha. You're so cool.
Thank you.
I'm looking at you thinking, who would break up with you? Like, it's not possible.
Well, I'm gonna guess because I have so many girlfriends in this position. I have single friends who have just never been married. People have been divorced. I mean, just all
Well, that's
kinds
me.
of things. Okay, well, you've been divorced.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to help this one because
I'm a
we've got to
lost
find.
soul.
No, you are not a lost soul. But I say most of my friends will call me and say, Deborah, I think it's fear. And I think getting the first step, they're so scared to lose that person. And I just applaud you. I mean, I just think what you've done is great. But I still don't know how you get them through that. Like something pulled you through. Was it the writing about it?
No, it was saying, okay, I'm looking to someone and I'm expressing through my actions to them to tell me who I am and tell me what I'm worth. And I need to tell myself.
Yeah.
I need to look in the mirror and tell myself. And I'm only going to surround myself with people that are mirrors, not yes people,
Oh, that's a
not
good
no
one.
people that are mirrors until I like the reflection.
That's a
because I'm
great
not going to get what I
analogy.
want out of my life. And, my mother had a talk with me. She said, you're not going to want to be in your 60s one day and look back and say, I didn't know the power I had.
Yeah,
I didn't
that would be
know.
sad, wouldn't
I
it?
didn't know.
Well, it sounds like you had a good mom, right? So did you have a decent upbringing? I mean, why do you think you felt so low about yourself anyway? Is it just society?
I think all women do. Let's face it. You know, we just have to be taught. They need to teach girls this, young girls. Like I have a daughter who's 13. Actually, she likes herself more than I did at her age. So I think maybe it's changing a little bit with society. I don't know. Maybe
I don't
not.
know. Maybe it's just her. She is a pretty confident kid.
She's
I guess.
confident. I
Yeah.
learned from my 13-year-old. How about that? It's pretty, she likes herself. And she has boundaries. Like you said, she sets boundaries. If someone mistreats her, she walks away and doesn't look back. I love in your one blog where you said, set your boundaries and don't second guess yourself. I love that because we do that as women.
Oh, yeah.
We finally get there and we rip the Band-Aid off and get rid of some people. If you're dating someone that's not working out, and then you sit around and second guess yourself. And
you're
don't-
analyzing it.
Exactly.
till the
That's
end.
true.
I
We
think
analyze.
women are people pleasers a lot. I know
Yeah.
I am. If something's not working right, I'm ridiculous and I try and do whatever I can to make it better. And 95% of the time I make it worse because everybody's like,
Well, you can't
We
win
get
that
it.
way, right?
No,
You're just
you
trying to please
can't.
everybody but yourself.
right. So what do you say to the people pleaser? Like this girl who's trying to, please this guy who's putting her down and doesn't want her anyway. What do it sounds like you were there. So what do you do?
I was totally there. I was a blame absorber, so I would absorb. I'm sure you guys are familiar with blame absorbing.
no, what's a
It's
blame absorber?
when anything happens,
Oh, you blame
just
yourself.
absorb the blame for it. It becomes about you. And you know what? That's kind of like a reverse narcissism.
Exactly.
It really is because you make everything about you. And I had to realize
Oh.
not everything's about me. I'm not that special.
Oh my gosh, that's
That
interesting.
I am I'm this creature with superpowers that goes around resurrecting
you can't control others.
men that are avoidant of commitment or
Right.
men that are emotionally unavailable. It's not my job to take a grown adult and raise him from the ground up. It's,
Right. It's
it's
a good-
my job to have a great cake, and if there's some good icing that comes along, guess what? The cake's still good without the
Ooh, I
icing.
love
you know?
these
Oh, that's
analogies.
very tasty. I like that.
But I found that when I missed my ex and like it was just this overpowering thing, it was like I had thrown trash out, whether I got cheated on or not. I thrown trash out and I was crying, waiting for the trash man to bring the trash back from the dump. It's still trash. It's not going to be
Still
useful
smells
to me.
and stinks.
Yeah, it's not going to be useful to me.
Yeah.
So
You have a level head. You're very calm. And
But I'll bet you weren't, right?
when
I
you-
bet
Oh,
you-
I'm psychotic. I don't.
I love the honesty.
No,
We're
but
all
I'll bet
psychotic.
you I bet you he was saying, oh, you're going crazy or insane, especially if you tell me you were stalking and all that stuff. I love the
So it
honesty
took him
there.
2 months, and then he approached you because they have to. That much time is necessary, I think, before somebody goes.
Well,
Wait,
you do the
where's she
stalking
going?"
without
Yeah.
without announcing it. He doesn't
Right.
know what I
Well, of
did.
course, yeah.
You have to maintain some kind of dignity. But
He missed you after 2 months. Sounds like.
no, he didn't. He missed the control. He missed not
Ah.
being in control of the dynamic. And emotionally unavailable, narcissistic guys are all about control. And as long he didn't miss me, he wanted to know if he could still use me as an option. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
He's a manipulator. He's a manipulator. And the difference between a narcissist, it's so funny. My son's going on an audition to be a kid psychopath.
Oh, nice.
So, like, all weekend, I'm reading about psychopaths. I mean, it's insane. And, this is a way extreme, but it is a narcissistic thing. And obviously, you don't get to that level where there's murder involved. But the point is, they don't, in their head, they are manipulating. They're predators. They, maybe not to the extent your boyfriend was, but ex-boyfriend, but they have to control you. And they don't have emotionals like we do.
They're not emotional, but do you think these guys know that they're like that? Or do you think maybe you're just, not you, but in general, it's just the wrong two people together? Like, do you know what I mean? Do they know they're doing it?
I don't think it's just like I didn't know I was, I had mom issues, dad issues. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't going around with a loaded gun.
Right.
But I might as well have been because
Thank God she didn't have one.
Then you would have been the wrong side of the.
No, I think these are guys that I have on my blog, 15 signs that he's emotionally unavailable. They're not going to empathize with you. They're not going to see it from your point.
Because they focus on themselves.
Exactly. And you just have to get to a point where you realize I'm going to keep attracting what I exude, and I'm going to look at all your friends in life right now. The majority of them reflect how you feel about you. So
That's
if you
right.
started treating yourself better and anyone came
Well,
along,
those
a
people
friend,
disappear, don't you think? When you start to set those boundaries and feel better
fall
about
to the wayside.
they just kind of disappear.
they fall to the wayside.
Yeah.
So if you start treating yourself better,
Right.
and someone comes along, no matter how handsome they are, or how charming, or how whatever, you're not going to put up with less treatment than you're already treating yourself.
Makes
so
sense.
it never becomes personal. You don't become too sensitive, and when you instill boundaries, you cease becoming this woman that just talks too much and won't shut up and is crazy,
Yeah.
because you speak with your actions.
Yeah,
So.
and men do that when they're narcissistic. Is they blame the woman? Oh, you're crazy, right? I mean, when you're in that kind of relationship, and they blame you, so that makes you even crazier.
But you got to think of it this way too. If you had someone complaining about your cheating or your lying or whatever all the time and just barking in your ear but didn't do anything, you'd know you could get away with it.
Right.
You wouldn't respect them because they didn't have respect for themselves. You teach people how to treat you. You have to be the dynamic character in your own life. Like we all know the movie Taken with Liam Neeson. What if Liam...
I didn't see it.
Oh, it was a huge success. It was this,
Tell me about it.
So Neeson's character, he's an ex-FBI agent, and his
Yeah.
daughter gets kidnapped by sex traffickers, and it's his job to go find these kidnappers in Europe.
Oh.
And he karate chops 50 people and kills them with one chop, and it's amazing. Okay, so it's a really action-packed
Believable
movie.
too, huh?
But if Neeson in the film, let's just say, found out his daughter got kidnapped and they were going to sell her for sex trafficking, and he went on the kidnapper's Instagram and sat on the couch and said, "Gee, I don't know what they're doing. Should I do this? Should I do?" No, he
Yeah.
was a dynamic character. That's why the film grossed so much money. So you have to be a dynamic character in your own life. And those are the kind of people people are going to want to emulate you. People are going to know what they can and can't get away with. They're going to want to treat you better.
So, but by knowing this now about yourself, right, and opening this up, do you attract a different kind of guy? Perhaps like what I'm saying is maybe you were just attracting the wrong kind of guy, or letting it out there that, you know what I mean? Or maybe he was with the wrong kind of girl, knowing that he could take advantage of that.
There's a reason, and I have a blog post about this, that I have so many handsome, rich, powerful, successful ex-boyfriends, because I used to, I used to equate being a professional athlete, having a PhD, having money in the bank, being whatever, with character. And that's not character. Character is when your words match your actions.
Right.
And that's what I equate in my life. People who do what they
on
say.
paper, they look good. That's what you did before, right?
Exactly.
This
And so
person
the
looks
same
good on
things
paper.
don't turn me on anymore.
Yeah.
So now you go for like the poor, kind of dumpy looking guys.
Definitely not.
No.
But
But you can find someone who has both, right?
You definitely can. But it's surprising to see what I am attracted to now as I've gotten
You're more open.
some
to,
more experience.
Yeah.
So what are you attracted to now?
Character, someone, who can back up what they say, someone whose words seamlessly, without effort, match their actions. And I'm attracted to that in girlfriends too, and my friends and my coworkers, and the people that are incapable of it. It's not that I'm rude. It's not that anything. I have boundaries. I kind of don't.
You
I
don't
go
go
there
there.
as much.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So life is good now.
Life has always been good.
Yeah.
It really, really has. And I wish if I were to have a kid, I have 2 younger sisters that are 10 years and more younger than me. I wish their suffering and heartbreak as much as I wish for their happiness, because it's through that
You
you
teach
can
yourself.
really grow if you choose to be proactive about it. If not, you just become another, club monkey that's going out and busting, ruining their paycheck every week and spending everything they have and trying to numb what's going on.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Numb what's going on by not looking at it, and you keep getting the same results.
Right.
Just different people.
And what about you? What kind of
Me?
guy do you keep attracting? Because we're trying
Emotional and available always. It's been like that.
And then what do you do?
forever.
Do you do like she did
I
and
haven't
like
solved my
stalk
problem.
him, or like
I'm
a
learning.
weirdo, or no offense? That
I've
kind of a
had
thing?
moments of strange behavior.
You?
Yeah. Not lately. 20 years ago when I was single. I mean, I've been divorced now 5 years. But before that, I think the worst, I used to do drive-bys at his house. Where is he? Like, who cares? Like, I can't believe I did that. It was so stupid. But, you get in this
Well, what's
bubble.
funny about
like,
that
you're
is
obsessed.
Yeah, what's funny about that is even if you drive by and the person's there, so what? What are
Yeah,
you going
like,
to do?
what are you
Like,
going to do? I don't know
invite
why
your-
that
Exactly.
made me, I realized when I was doing it how ridiculous
Well, and it's
it
not
was.
that he's that special.
Right.
It's that get off to trying to be the
Control.
exception to someone's rule that they have through
There
their
you go.
actions clearly laid out.
That's the point.
You would
That is
rather
so true.
Yeah, you would rather you get excited with guys you have to put on a show for and seek
Yeah.
validation than
Exactly.
you do for a guy that's just there and ready and available because you're not attracted to that. So you've got to go in and rework and rewire what you're attracted to.
I had a girlfriend of mine. She's always in an uproar with her dating, all the time. And she called me last night and she said, all we did is we had a talk, and I said, why can't he just be nice or be kind to me? And I said, I don't know. What did he say? And she said, that you complain too much. And I said, well, then quit asking for it. I mean, why do women do that? You got to be nicer to me. It's like, I don't know. The guy's going to take
You
that the
shouldn't
wrong
have
way.
to ask that.
They do that
Right?
because they think if they could extract a drop from an empty well, that one drop is much more valuable than the gallon of sparkling water they could get from the full well. And as long as they can get that drop from the empty well,
So astute.
they can right all the wrongs of the past. They can go back in and not be the helpless victim that they were as a kid, and they can be the perpetrator, and they can be the game changer in their own lives, and they look to other people to right their fate. And every moment that you spend dwelling on an ex that's undeserving of you, you do it at the expense of your
Of
destiny.
yourself.
Of your destiny.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's like, when you drive around LA and you could be in the beach and it's cloudy, and then you go up to Mulholland and you cross over and it's sunny.
Right.
So it's like you have a choice. Do I want to be in this cloudy, mucky weather, or do I want to drive over, as an analogy? But you can change your life if you just take that first step and love yourself and set boundaries. And what other tips do you have?
Yeah, like do you do your blog once a week, or how often do you do it?
I do it pretty much every other day. I have a
Wow,
post up. Yeah,
that's
I have a
pretty
post
good.
up.
And do you
People
have a
have to
theme
read
each
this
time?
blog.
This blog is fantastic. Tell us the name of your blog.
Thank
and
you.
What do you like to focus on?
It's called Post-Male Syndrome.
Okay,
And
.com.
.com, yes. And
Love that name, the PMS.
I
That's
love it.
So
Thank
smart.
you. Well, I came up with it. I thought, you know what? No matter where you are in life, if you're married, if you're
Right.
single, if you're divorced, you're always post some dude. You're always post
Yeah.
some heartbreak. Post something that happened.
Or you could be going through any relationship muck.
And it doesn't just have to be a
Right.
boyfriend
Yeah,
or even
no.
a husband. It
Right.
could be a friend of the opposite
child.
sex. It could be a
You
kid.
know, you could be a-
who's a pain in the
Exactly.
ass. I mean, it could be anything, right?
pain in the ass
Well, it's true. I mean, she's
we're
seen
nice
me
mothers.
today, right,
Yeah.
Richard? Never mind.
Deborah, I don't know if our viewers know, you have 3 boys,
I
and
have
they're
3
teenagers.
boys and a
One's
husband.
in
and they're
college.
teenagers, and
So she's in all men. All her
I
her
am
house
in
is all men.
male
Yeah. A
world.
lot of
and
testosterone.
A
Right, a lot
lot,
of
but they're
testosterone.
all very different. And either way, though, they're all guys. And I don't really understand any of them sometimes because I just don't. And I always say to my husband, you know something? If you had 3 daughters and it was me and 3 girls, you'd see what it feels like. And he's like, but I don't. So,
Right.
but my point, it's hard.
But you can get a lot out of those blogs that will help you
Yeah, I
stay
gotta read these.
centered. I'm going to be
Right?
I'm the biggest fan there is. Really, truly.
I'm looking at
Every
Richard
woman
be-
should read these, and men.
I
They
have
could
a
learn
lot of
something.
male readers.
You have a lot of male readers.
A lot of
That's-
male readers that
Wow.
have written to me, said, you know what? I was with someone emotionally unavailable, or I didn't know I was emotionally unavailable, and oh
yeah,
my gosh.
until you realize the signs.
And it's
Yeah.
not about men hating. I'm the biggest
No, we
fan of
love
men
men.
that there is.
Right.
I love men. It's about taking accountability for your own life
Yeah.
and recreating the future that you can't stop bitching about that you deserve.
Right.
You know, instead of talking, let's
So
do
the
it.
first
Right.
step is to just stop. Are you just saying to people stop and take pause, take notice of what you're doing? Or I always feel like the first step's the hardest, whether it's dieting or anything else. So
You know, you can't take it too seriously. You can't take
Right.
yourself too seriously. You have to just say, okay, this is the pattern. This is what's going on. Read a few of my posts and you'll see. You have to be easy on yourself, and you have to give yourself one echo of the understanding, excuse making, kindness that you give the opposite sex. Oh, he flaked on me again. Oh, it's because, his mom has eczema and I had to go. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
You have to make those excuses. You have to make that empathy for yourself.
Right. Switch it
Switch
around.
it.
Everyone should read your blog.
Thank you.
I can't stress it enough. And I'm so excited that you will hopefully come on the show a lot.
I would love
'Cause,
to.
This is
yeah,
a
would
topic.
you be like a regular for us?
Yeah, I
would
can
love
you be like
to.
our resident gal to go to
I
with
told
like guy
her
problems?
we're excited.
'Cause
We're
you're
your
so
new best
smart.
friends. We're excited.
What did you
We-
study in school? How did you get this smart? Did you study psychology, or you must have
No.
really had the school of hard knocks. I mean, I'm telling you to know all this.
Well,
like-
she's just smart. just a smart, common sense person. I love that.
I
It's
studied
very
English
cool.
in school.
Oh.
So, but no, it's all happened through experience. I finally found what kind of just comes out of me and comes easy to me, and I felt like I had something to say. So,
And you do, and we're listening, girl. We're listening.
But real quick, the name of the movie is
Girlfriends.
Girlfriends. And
Can't
if
wait.
you're not done shooting it, she could put us in
Oh,
it.
yeah, sure.
That would be awesome.
Sure. Heck yeah.
What are we
I'll
going to
get
be
in it.
doing? We'll be talking
Yeah,
about.
I'll go in
seriously.
it.
Okay.
I'll
I'm game.
introduce it or
Let's do it.
something, whatever. But anyway, thank you for being here.
Thank you
And I
for
don't know if we
having
have
me.
any time to
Quick
get
minute.
Gregory up here. Probably not. But my relatives had such a fun time here in Los Angeles. He wants to get up here. This guy is not shy. It's a very funny story. If I have like 10 seconds or 30. He's a terrific comic. He's 16 years old.
That's a hard
Gregory.
road, and that's
no,
exciting.
he has no issues being in front of the camera or in front of an audience. Here, come on over here. Just come over here with me. And one day he went to go see Jay Leno in Pennsylvania. Get down here. Come on.
You guys look
And
alike.
he
You
and
can see the blood.
Jay Leno has become like a friend of his. Jay will just like start
Jay Leno
calling
is
him.
your buddy? Oh
Yeah,
my
come
God.
here.
Say
Talk over
something.
here. Right? Isn't it true? Like he'll just be sitting there on the couch at home, and Jay will start calling him because he's so talented that he's just been, Jay noticed. And anyway, we went to go see Jay, right, perform on Monday. We went backstage with him. He almost got on the Jimmy Kimmel show, right? So you were amazing. We're gonna hear.
He
a
has
lot
to come
from you.
back and be on our show.
He's so fun.
He's
You
so
wanna,
cute.
Say he's adorable, isn't he?
So
He's so cute. I
cute.
think he's afraid of me. but
and we're
that's okay.
embarrassing him. I guess.
Got
yeah.
anything to say before we get out of here?
I guess I can tell a joke.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Then we got.
We'll close with the joke.
All right. Horse walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "Hey, Mac, what's the long face?"
He's done better, but that's pretty
Woo!
good.
Get
All right,
the
anyway,
applause.
everybody, thank you for being here. Yeah, we'll take the applause. Thanks, everybody. This was such a fun show. You're coming back. I'm
thank
going
you.
to get new plants and see you next
Woo!
week.
Thank you.